5.3 LS for my 92 Nissan Hardbody. I have got the springs and valves all back in. Today I'm going to be doing the rockers and push rods, getting that all back in, valve covers back on, and then I can start getting the intake on. So far I've done the stage 2 cam, Richard Holdner, low buck truck, new springs, valve seals, cleaned up the valves, cleaned up the heads, new head gaskets obviously, done a harmonic balancer off of a Corvette or Firebird, so I have a lot closer spacing for my accessories, because it is a very tight fit in the truck that it's going in, so all the room counts. So today I'm going to be putting the rocker arms and all that back in, and getting that all back together. It's been a little bit of a slow process, never done this stuff before, not knowing all the little odds and ends, bolts that can't be replaced, or excuse me, that can't be reused, things like that. I snapped the freaking bolt off in the head because of that. Fortunately, it was sticking out enough, vice grips, got it out, no problem. Ordered some new bolts, all that's good to go. I've got one bolt in the actual exhaust manifold area that's broken, just one out of all of them, so that's not bad. I didn't break it, it was already broke. So I do gotta get that out. So yeah, that's what I'm getting into today. Well, I just spent the last 20 minutes filming and talking, putting these rockers back in and push rods, and just kind of talking about the motor, talking about the build that it's going in, that truck out there. And it wasn't fucking recording. Which you'd have been bored anyway. So, I guess it's not a huge deal. But, it works. It's not locked up, so I did it right. So that's good. But yeah. I think it was at least some decent conversation that nobody heard but my dog laying there. So. Only thing I'll just go over real quick. New springs and seals. The valves have been cleaned and relapped. Rockers are original. I degreased them, cleaned the shit out of them, and then soaked them in fresh oil. Same with the push rods. I saw no reason to change those. Heads got new gaskets, obviously. New bolts. I did not know that they're torque to yield. So when I went to reuse the ones I took out, I snapped one because I'm a dumbass. But fortunately, it was sticking out of the block enough that I was able to get it out, and ordered some new Felpro, just stock. I didn't go with heads or nothing because they're head studs. I'm not building a race motor. It's got a cam in it. I feel like that is plenty for a mini truck. So I think with the cam alone, I think I don't know what y'all think, probably close to 300 horse. 5.3 with a Richard Holdner low buck truck, which I think they say is the same specs as the Truck Norris stage 2 cam. So, but a fraction of the cost. And then the F-body / Corvette front pulley to save me some room. think that's about it for what I've done so far. New gasket, obviously. New, I forget what that seal is in there. The cam plate with the gasket on it. That's new. That's new. Clean the shit out of everything. New beehive springs. New seals. Universal mounts with the bushings, and then the tabs that I'll weld onto the truck. It's got it's not necessarily an F body, but it's a low pro oil pan, aluminum. And then I've got the truck intake that it came off of with the throttle body. Everything that came with it. AC compressor, there's a fuel pump. The guy gave me everything. So, yeah, he gave me everything. The big thing I got instead was the standalone wire harness. Fucking $100. I'm not about to go through that whole one deep in at all. And then I had to get a pedal off eBay. But harness looks to be good quality. Had good reviews. This one actually came with an instruction manual, which I know a lot of them don't. Template. Applies to the drive-by-wire. Actually, a very nice instruction booklet. Not bad. It's still very nice. And the one thing I like about this, compared to a lot of the other ones I've seen on eBay, is this one uses the GM colors. So I know a lot of people will get some of the other cheaper ones off there, and the colors are just random ass colors, and they don't know where to plug shit in because some of the plugs are the same, like coil packs and cam sensors and shit like that. This is actually the GM colors, so you can get a schematic of the color code, which actually might be in here. So it does break down what each plug is. Just trying to see if there's a diagram. Yeah, so yeah, this is nice. So it's got a whole section on colors and what they do. Pink, black, pink, tan. Yeah, that's nice. So there's no confusion. Hell yeah. Honestly, I didn't realize that. So that's that. And then I had to get a pedal off eBay. I mean, I didn't have to. I guess I could have went to the junkyard, but it was easier with the TCC control. Tack module, I guess. Still in good shape. Probably could redo this tape on it, but yeah. That's nice. And then the box over there has a fuel pump, AC compressor, water pump, but I'm gonna change the water pump to F-body or Corvette. I got the radiator and condenser and all that, but I'm going to try and use line off the truck, stock stuff. I'm hoping using the Corvette balancer that it saves me the room I need for the compressor or the stock radiator and all that. I've got electric fans, and the guy really gave me everything. So that's my plan with that. I think I'm about ready to pull the motor out of the Nissan. Yeah, I think I am. I'm stoked. I bought that truck in October, and I've barely driven it because it just runs like shit. But for what I paid for it, I didn't really care because this was kind of my plan anyway. So I've got more money in the suspension and air management than I paid for the truck. So slapping this motor in there is gonna be fucking sweet. And then it's going to the paint shop. So I tried to have a couple of different people / shops do this swap. Each one, you know, $5 or $6 grand, which I was fine with. But they both flaked. I don't know if they were scared, because it's not your traditional square body swap, box Chevy swap. It's just not traditional. And there's a little extra work involved, but it's not a ton. So it's like, fuck it. I've done everything else to this truck. Why not do the motor? What it saved me cost-wise, I've put towards getting it painted, because I have suspension completely done. I've got the 20s on it. Tires are decent. I think I'm gonna need to get a new one now. I ran over a screw, and they need to be rebalanced. There's no wobble or anything, but whoever put the fucking weights on these things, the weights are all over the place. So that needs to be redone. Interior is decent, but it is going to get redone. Leather, not going to go over like what we're going to do. That'll be its own video and stuff. But let's walk around. It's aired up right now. Sorry for the sun, it's bright as shit out here. I live in Florida. Don't mind the muffler, it was just temporary so I can still move it around. First attempt at hard lines. Yeah, they're not perfect, I know. But I've never done it before and I think it looks cool, so I don't really care what anybody else thinks. Everything back here was built by me. I cut all the brackets on my plasma table for the compressors and the tank and the AccuAir and the brain and all that, so it looks like it's floating. 3-link wishbone style. That. Like I said, tires are like new. Couldn't beat it for $500. I gotta set you down for a second. stock V6, VG30, my tubs. This thing takes up so much space. So the LS is actually gonna take up less space width-wise, but depth-wise is where it's gonna run into all this. Most people you see, they cut the core support. I really don't wanna do that. I'm gonna try and get away from doing that, but we'll see. That's from my compressor. It was a lot nicer under here until I tubbed it out. And I knew I was doing the motor, so I didn't really care. Little hardbody cowl panels. AC works, so I don't know if I just need to keep that and try and make it fit onto the LS bracketry, or if I need to use the LS compressor. Gotta do some research on that. But yeah, that's where we're at. Appreciate y'all watching. I'm sure it's boring as hell. Like I said, there's a whole section that's missing from when I thought I was recording and it wasn't, but it literally was putting rockers and push rods back in. These are my helpers. Best helpers you can have. They don't talk shit, they just judge you. So yeah, that's where we're at. 4L60 torque converters over there on the floor somewhere. Gonna be trying to get this stud out today for the exhaust manifold. Only one out of the whole motor. Can't complain about that too much. So I have this fender washer that's pretty much the same exact size as the stud. I think that's going to help me get the weld wall right where it needs to be. Maybe not. Alright, got that on there. Let's find a nut to go on there. A little too big. Alright, stand by. Guess I should have had that set up. My bad. Well, this shit does not want to stick. Hell yeah, that was fucking easy. Thank you to the car gods. So, fender washer, and then the bolt. Honestly, that's a wrap for Sunday's project.